What's up guys, welcome to 1UX1, and today we're talking about the reality of a UX researcher. What is it really like? What are the problems you're going to face? What are the challenges and what are the delights and the good bits about being a UX researcher? Because it's not all about work, it's about enjoying it as well. So don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification bell so you can get more updates and drop any questions you have. So as a UX researcher, you're going to really enjoy the job. And why do I say that? Because every day is different. You're actually solving real world problems. So you're actually going to see your research implemented and used in the real world. So one day you may build an improvement into an app, enhance a product, and millions of people are going to use it. And you know that you were part of that. So that's an amazing feeling. So that's the positive. You actually do make a real difference. And that's why myself, I'm a perfectionist. I want to make sure everything the user said, every word, every quote, every feeling, I want to capture that in my report. That's why I love my job. I want to make sure that everything that they feel, they said. Now, that doesn't mean everything that they say or want can be built. It might not be technically feasible. The developers or your managers may not agree that that's even a problem. That's a separate matter, but your job is to report it back. So imagine yourself as a reporter. Imagine a news reporter going out, getting the information about that story, a car crash or maybe a murder or something, and they're going to report it and report it back to their editor, and the editor will decide what to publish. So your job as a UX researcher is to actually get the news story, get the feedback from the users, how they feel, what they're thinking, and then report that back in a report. So that's something I really love doing, and it's such a rewarding job. Now, where are the problems? What are the difficulties? In a UX research project, sometimes you can be really pushed for time. So you might be forced to run around a UX research, the whole life cycle, very quickly. And that means you don't get to interview as many people as you like, or you might not get enough time to. But worse than that can be lack of time to analyze the data. So when you actually have the data, you collate the data. So it could be recordings, it could be handwritten notes, it could be note takers that you have with you. Let's say you're interviewing and you have two of your colleagues that took notes. They'll usually share those notes with you in the form of a Word document, or they might use Mural or Miro or any other app where they actually write post-it notes as they go along. I prefer simple notes on Word or text, and I prefer them to email it to me on their feedback from those participants. Now, once you've got that feedback, you actually want to understand that you need to analyze that data. Now, your managers might say, we need a report next week, because the developers, UX designers need the report to action it, to actually build a new iteration, a new improvement, an enhancement. So they're waiting on you. So sometimes they don't give you the time to analyze it fully. So imagine if you interviewed 6 people and the interviews were 1 hour long each. That's going to be 6 hours of data. And you need to analyze that. That could take a week to do, 2 weeks. It could be longer, it could be shorter. It depends on what the interviews were about. So what was the depth of the interview? Was it user journeys? Or was it qualitative data, i.e. what they were saying and discussing, or was it both? So the depth that you went into, how did you interview, what methods you use in terms of questioning. You want to use that data and analyze it well. But if you don't get the time and your manager says, well, we need the data back, we need the report analyzed, written up, which again could take at least 2 days to write up a PowerPoint presentation with the correct format and layout, which I'm going to have a video on how to actually design the report itself. What you're going to find is that managers want that report on their desk ASAP. It could be 3 days to do all that work, which would normally take a week or 2. So you're going to have a lack of time to really think about what users said, and you're going to put that in themes, put it in your report, but you may feel that you wanted more time to do it properly, i.e. there can be the issue of managers wanting results from your research report, whereas you actually wanted to analyze further and get exactly what the user was saying. So what the problem could be is developers might want to build without all the feedback, without all the insights, without all the pain points. And that's not right. I feel that is so unfair on the users. But in the real world, it happens. It can be frustrating. and very, very stressful. The other thing that can be really difficult is when people don't understand what UX research is. I had a colleague once as a note taker who had no knowledge of UX research and was actually justifying why a design was not useful. So the user was saying, I don't like this feature, I don't like this page, and my colleague was justifying why we built it that way. You never ever justify your design because it's the user's voice that matters. So we may think we're the best company in the world, we have the best website or app, but it's actually what the users think that matters. So users come first, their feedback is what matters. So never justify your design. Actually listen to users and say, well, how can we improve this? So again, you can have a pain point where people don't understand what UX researchers do, don't understand your method and how much time you need to actually deliver a effective report that can be implemented into a great design solution. So that can be another pain point. Another thing that can happen is you may want to do UX research in a certain method and your manager, your service delivery manager, or your C-suite senior manager say, no, you can't use that method. So don't forget to justify why you need that method. That's really crucial to getting what you want. So for example, let's say you want to go out and do a field study. So ethnographic field study, you want to go out and interview people in a coffee shop or in their work setting. So, well, we don't have time for that. It's remote working. We're not authorized to let you go out for the whole day. So you'll justify that method and explain why it's so important that you use this method to get the most effective results from your users and really identify the pain points. That can be discussion you have, but be friendly, be open to listening to their experiences. They may have an experience where they may be right, you may be wrong, but always listen, but try to get the method that you think is best. Also speak to colleagues, speak to other UX researchers. In a lot of organizations, you have a separate group for UX researchers so that you can work with them, get their advice, share templates, share good practice, and usually we meet up weekly so that you can improve on your methods and learn from each other. So that's really crucial to getting things done, and I think that's a really great idea. You can also form a group on Facebook or LinkedIn or other social media platforms to share ideas and good practice. Now, when it comes to the other areas of your UX research, i.e. sharing data, sharing your report, sharing your UX research findings, you may find that again, a lot of people don't turn up at the meeting, and it's quite annoying because you invite everybody and people don't bother to turn up. So does it show that they're not interested in what you've discovered, or they just don't have the time to have other meetings? So that'd be quite annoying, but that's just the reality of it. Maybe the way people work, people are busy, people don't have time, and they may want to see your report later. So what you do is you just convert it to a PDF, your PowerPoint or Keynote, and make sure you email everybody. One of the key things about your job is making sure everybody knows what you've done, where the findings are, where the report is. So email it through, drop it in Slack or Teams so everybody has a copy. No one can say, I didn't know what research you did. We didn't know why we're meant to build this feature or improve this page or this component. And so that way you can justify, guys, I did email on this date, and everybody should have got the report. If you don't have it, I can send it again. That way, you're not getting into any issues with your colleagues and the team, and especially the most important thing, the users are getting what they asked for. The improvements, enhancements that they needed, they're getting those. Don't forget, drop any questions below, guys. If you have any, more than happy to help you with your career path. And this is 1UX1. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.